Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. When people hear about investing, they get hesitant because 1, they don't know how to invest, or 2, they don't know where to put their money. The third reason they might be hesitant is because they hear that you should never take your money out of the market and they're never going to see the returns that it gives them for a very long time. I have an investment for you that's going to give you instant cash returns. So let's get into it. The fund I'm talking about is SCHD, and this is the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. Many are saying it's one of the best dividend ETFs to invest in. This ETF provides a high dividend yield while also increasing your account's value. Our goal here is to see if this could be a risk-free investment, where you continue to grow your principal balance and also receive consistent cash flow payments quarter after quarter. This could really be the best of both worlds. So let's see how it's been doing over the last couple of years. If you look at this chart, you can actually see that SCHD has been getting incredible growth. Over the last 10 years, it has been getting a 13% return, which is great, especially for a dividend fund. This fund doesn't stop here though. It also has an amazing dividend yield, but more on that in a minute. Let's look at what kind of returns we would get just from investing in the fund. If you invested just $100 a month over the last 10 years in the SCHD, you'd get a return of almost $25,000. So you'd be doubling your money in just over a 10-year span. Now let's look at that over a 20 and 30-year term. You'd have about $115,000 in 20 years, and you'd have over $442,000 after 30 years. The reason I'm showing you what it's like to invest $100 for 30 years into this ETF is because I think $100 is an amount of money that most people can afford to invest into a fund and not touch for a while. But one thing people do hate is not being able to touch that money. But with a fund like this, you won't need to. And that's because you're going to be getting a dividend every quarter, and your money's going to be working hard for you to get consistent cash flow. Separately from your money continuing to grow, you're going to be receiving a dividend payment each quarter. And that's going to make it way easier for you not to want to touch that large nest egg you've been working on. Right now, SCHD has been giving out a 3.32% dividend yield, which is fantastic. So let's go back to our 10-year example and see how much money we're going to be getting per year. As I've pointed out before, after 10 years, you're going to have about $25,000 in your account. With the current distribution yield of 3.32%, you're going to get around $830 per year. Now I know what you're thinking. This is a small amount of money, but please be patient, because if you have invested early in your career, most likely you're going to be making more money than you were earlier. So you won't need this dividend payment to make a big difference in your life. But let's see what we're getting at 20 and 30 years. At that 20-year mark, you're gonna have that $115,000 saved up from putting $100 into that account every single month. But what's the dividend yield that you're going to be receiving every year? That dividend yield is actually $3,800 per year. And you have done absolutely nothing but put that $100 into this ETF. That's over $300 a month of income, which you can use for a car payment, groceries, or anything else. And it's all on top of the other income that you're going to be making. Finally, after 30 years of patience and time, your investment is finally going to start paying off big time. You're going to have that huge nest egg of $440,000, and that's going to provide you with a dividend yearly payment of over $14,500, which is just absolutely wild. That's over $1,200 a month that you're now going to have. And that's simply because you were patient and waited it out in the market. This is a great example of how dividend ETFs can really help you out and make it so you get consistent cash flow later in your life. Obviously, none of these things happen overnight, and it takes a little bit of time and effort to invest in that specific fund and to save $100 per month. But if you can do those two things, you can make a really big difference in your future and in your life in general. So please consider that, because if you're not deliberate about saving and investing and making your future better, no one else is going to be either. Please leave a comment below if you think this is a good way to invest your money. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to think. If you're tired of getting pay increases but aren't feeling any wealthier, check out this video right here. If you like this type of content, hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next one.